And, you know, this is kind of an interesting conversation. So there's going to be a couple points I'm going to have to make before I dive into this, because it's interesting. So a lot of people will talk about being a creative, um, being a musician, being a YouTuber, being a content creator, being a producer, being a graphic designer, being an artist, right? People will say that it's okay to work a job while you're doing content, right? Or and just for this example, we'll be talking about musicians, right? So, people always say that it's completely fine to work a job. And it kind of dawned on me the other day. Um, it kind of really dawned on me the other day, right? And you see people say it all the fucking time. And they're not wrong. You know what I mean? Like they're not wrong. The thing is though, is like y- you'll see people say, yeah, it's completely okay to like, work a job and, you know, pursue music and da 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 da. But nobody pushes the subject past that, right? So for instance, how do you manage a job and being a full-time creative? How do you manage a job and being a full-time creative and having a personal life? How do I manage all that? Nobody will tell you that. That's what we're going to talk about today. And there's a couple of prerequisites before I begin speaking that I want to let everybody know about. If you're not really like that serious about creativity and music, this conversation isn't for you, right? You can do your thing. You can, um, have your little space. You just like making songs. You like making art. You like shooting videos. You like doing whatever, right? This is for the more advanced creatives, the ones that have been at it for years, the ones that really want to change their lives from their art. This is for you. This is this is for those people, right? I'm not talking to the newer guys. I'm not talking to the newer artists. I'm not talking to any of those people that kind of just do it for fun. Um, Again, this is not for you. So if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this now, um, don't listen straight up. But this is more again for the more advanced creatives, the people that have been at it for years, the people that do really want to make something of themselves and are really serious about this for the most part, right? So again, back to the point. They'll say, it's completely okay to work a job, but how do you manage working a job and being a full time creative? Like flat out, the thing that matters the most is what you do with your extra time. So, like Ryuki said, I can't afford not to. Literally, that is facts. Like, and this is the case for most people, right? If you're blessed enough to be better off as to where you don't have to work, that's great. That's fine. You know what I mean? You should be taking that to the fullest. But if you're one of those people, which you probably are, you have to pay bills. You got to pay the internet. You got to keep your fucking, you got to buy food. Some people have kids. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, like, working a job is just simply like not an option, or not working a job is just not an option. So it's like, how do I push past that? And you know, a lot of the a lot of the truth to this shit is it's an ugly grind for the ones that um really want to reach their full potential. What do I mean by ugly grind? It's not even on like some motivation shit. It's truly like this as to where like you're gonna have to push past a lot of shit. Starting with your energy, right? There's going to be nights where you're going to be falling asleep at your desk. There's going to be nights where you got to push through. There's going to be nights where if you don't get on and make a beat, if you don't get on and finish that song, if you don't get on and, start doing whatever, as long as you're doing something daily, no matter what, that's pushing you forward in that aspect, you're already going in the right direction. And it's just really about doubling that up, right? And you have to want your goals so fucking badly that nothing will stop you, right? Because there are people out here that are working two jobs and are still full time creatives, putting out songs, projects monthly, right? And there are times where, you'll see people, they'll be like, yeah, like I can do this, or, I'll do this, or I'm going to do this year, or whatever, whatever. And it just doesn't pan out. And that's life. You know what I mean? People go through personal shit. You're going through family shit. You're going through relationship shit. Bro, all of that cannot get in the way of what you want to do. It can't. It simply can't. And if you're out here, right, you're kind of like this, you're up and down. You're like, today is March 27th, right? We are 3 months into 2023. And you have to look back at those 3 months and be like, damn, like, did I accomplish like what I wanted to accomplish so far this year? How many goals did I hit so far? And just start small. You know what I mean? Like, start small. But the main thing is just starting at all, right? Because a lot of people will get super frustrated with that kind of brick wall that you hit, right? Because you're exhausted all the time. You're fucking you barely have a social life, and you know whatever, you know what I mean? But that's gonna happen throughout life, no matter what you're doing. So you might as well go pedal to the metal with your dreams while going through it, because it's gonna happen either way. You know what I mean? Like, we're all guaranteed that bad day. We're all guaranteed that fucking really shitty time. So there's no reason for you to not go hard. There is no reason. And like, again, this isn't for those new people. This isn't for, the ones that are just starting out. It's different. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the people that fucking really want this shit, but always come to like a crossroad. And it's like, man, you have to go. You know what I mean? You have to go through it. Um, and literally, not one thing on this green planet that is worth having comes easy at all. Not one thing. You can't cut corners. You can't, you know, you just can't do any of that shit. You have to embrace the grind. And again, you know, there are some people that kind of take different approaches, and that's fine. But for the most part, you're getting other things out of this, right? You're getting discipline. You're learning about yourself. You're pushing yourself to new kind of potentials, right? And it's real satisfying seeing yourself grow like that. And it's really all about a method to the madness, right? Whatever works for you, keep doing it. You know what I mean? If nothing's broke, don't fucking try to fix it. You know what I mean? But 90% of this starts with you. Seriously. Like, you have to get yourself on a fucking schedule and go hard as shit every day, no matter what. And it's it's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be tough on those days where like you're dealing with so many things at once, right? You're dealing with music, you're dealing with personal stuff, you're tired, you're hungry, you just got out of a 12-hour shift, you just put in 40 hours at the grocery store. Like, there's going to be those days. But if you're not like actively working towards something bigger than you, then that'll just swallow you up. You know what I mean? And like, the harsh reality of it is, if you're not going that hard, there is somebody who is. Facts. Like, there is somebody right now cooking up 50 beats today after an 8-hour shift. Facts. Do they do that every day? Probably not. But you know what? They make that conscious effort to realize that, like, I have to push myself as much as I can. Like, mental health is number one here. Like, none of this works if your mental isn't in the game, right? So take care of yourself. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, you can't just be a robot in this shit and embrace the grind, because you might as well just go work a regular office job, go embrace that grind if that's what you're looking for. You know what I mean? But we have the blessing and like the ability to take a step back, right, from our art and rejuvenate, recharge those creative batteries, recharge all that stuff that you uh spend throughout so much time. And I would never advise anybody, not my staff, not my artists, to ever push past the point of like your mental breaking. You know what I mean? That's just, it's not practical, it's not healthy, and it doesn't fucking work like that. But but with that said, there are going to be days it sucks. You know what I mean? Like being full time with anything, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, music, designing, it's gonna suck some days. Straight up, there is gonna be fucking days where you don't want to do shit, but you gotta. And like that's the discipline I'm talking about, because it's a lot worse when you have to go into work, or you have to go to an office, or you have to go stock shelves, and so there's a bigger purpose behind you having to do that and then grind music and then grind art and then grind content. You know what I mean? Like there's a bigger fucking purpose there. And as long as you're taking care of yourself and you're putting as much time as you physically can without becoming unhealthy, that's what you need. You know what I mean? And then some days it's going to feel unhealthy, straight up. Some days you won't get any sleep. Some days you're going to skip meals. But that's just the name of the fucking game because you want it that bad. Period. Period. Because there are people out there that are doing that. Right? Like there are people that are doing that. So like any reason that you shouldn't kind of embrace that same grind is on you, you know what I mean? Like take your chances however you want to take your chances. You know, like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know? But for those of you that are like kind of in that weird spot, right? Um just something to think about, could you be putting more time in? Could you, take more time here and do this? Like it's all about priority, you know what I mean? And there are a lot of people that have a lot of big dreams but don't want to execute on it. And that's just my take on it. You know what I mean? Coming from somebody that, has built multiple platforms, built out multiple artists, I've just been entrenched in the scene for a while, so I've seen a lot of people come and go. And that's one thing that like a lot of the you know veteran creatives kind of have in common is that real grind, that real effort, and that shit is so fucking important. It is genuinely so important. So, you know, again, like it's gonna suck, but it's like worth it. You know what I mean? It's really worth it. And like at the end of the day, like it's not as dreadful as like even I make it sound, but sometimes it is to that people or that person, or some people go through hell. You know what I mean? Daily. Their living situation, they're broke, and how the fuck do you expect anybody to power through that shit? You got to though. You know what I mean? You got to. You got to, because like there is living proof of people doing worse shit and going through worse shit and making it farther than you are. So like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like it's just something to think about. You know what I mean? So again, with all that said, shout out to the people that do already do that. You know what I mean? If you're out here working regular jobs, you're taking care of your family, you're taking care of your parents, you're taking care of whatever, bro, and then you go back and grind music for 5, 6 hours, you're working 8 hour shifts every day. I fucking see that. I see that. I don't give a fuck who says what, bro. I see that. You know what I mean? I see that because I was relentless early on. I was very, very thirsty, and I'm still so thirsty for these bigger goals, right? So I see that fire in so many people in the scene. With that said, you know what I mean? There are people that kind of need that guidance, and then there are people that like have it on lock. You know what I mean? People dropping every month. The people fucking grind and work. They're taking care of their family. They're taking their L's in private and doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like that can't go unnoticed, and I want to make sure you guys know that I do see you. So if you do feel like you fit that criteria, I see it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not going to start name dropping, but I see you. You know what I mean? Like I see you guys. So with that said, how do you balance full-time creativity and working a job? You're going to have to sacrifice some shit, you know? You're going to have to sacrifice some shit. But it all depends on how bad you want it. Like, and like a lot of it is the perception, right? So it doesn't need to be that kind of like relentless kind of bullshit. It's very much a um glass half full kind of deal. You know what I mean? So, with that said, that's that, my friends. This will definitely be uploaded on the channel, so let me know what you think. I'd be glad to chat with the community. I'm sure the community will have some thoughts about this one. Which is why I kind of said like it's not really for like the entry level kind of creative that's looking to start out or start out part time or somebody who's brand new. Like that's not really who this is for. This is for usually a lot of those people that um have been going through it, you know what I mean? And they're like, fuck, man, like they just hit brick walls. They're like, dude, like shit just keeps happening to me, you know what I mean? And um, I'm always here to the best of my capacity, right? And I'll always instill the majority of my thoughts into the staff as well. So feel free to hit us up if you're looking for any kind of words of wisdom or motivation or thoughts on things, you know what I mean? Like not even like promo shit, like um real shit, like real genuine consultation. So feel free to hit us up, you know what I mean? But like I said, with that said, this will definitely be uploaded on the channel, so make sure you leave a comment, let us know what you think. Um, drop a like if you enjoyed, and of course, if you're not subbed, make sure you sub to the motherfucking channel. Um, so yeah, man, that's really like the thought of the day. I have so many really great talking points written down, but that one was more recent as to where I was like, yeah, there's something to be discussed there when it comes to um, you know, talking about being full time or going as hard as you can for a lot of things, right? So, much to be discussed there. But I would love to hear what you guys' opinions are and how you work things, right? I mean, the way you work things, if it's working for you, right? Keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing with creativity and music and even streaming and content is there is no rules. Like there's no set like path, right? There's no like, oh, just do this and you're good. Like it's not like that. Everybody's journey is different, and what we do here is to just give you the tips and tricks that can help you along the way. So just apply it to wherever you're at. Doesn't necessarily mean you got to drop everything and grind 12 hours a day. You know? Like I don't mean that. But if you're not, you probably know what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? So um definitely something to think about there. Definitely something to think about. But let's fucking get it, chat.